Drifting's cool and all, but drifting a car that you want to keep for a while in a pristine condition is not exactly a good idea.
Not a GTR.
You can't. I mean, you can drift a GTR, but it's not really for drifting. So I want to get more into road racing. And when I finally feel like my car is ready to go, I did the brakes, make sure my oiling is good, cooling is good. I was like, I'm ready. And I called ASP and they're like, oh, nope, we're close to the season. I was like, awesome.
You could still run grip at MSP.
Yeah, but it's so tiny. Like you can get up to the top of second gear and that's it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of third.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about that track, though, is that even when I was low power, I was able to keep up with turbo cars.
Yeah, dude. That was nice. I'll never forget my first experience on the track drifting was in your Altezza. And I almost gave myself a concussion because I didn't get myself a concussion, but from you sliding it around, I was like banging my head on the like B-pillar and stuff.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I was dude. Let me explain to you the nerves that I felt when I showed up there. Like I parked it in the pit road or whatever, and I was like, I wasn't even gonna go on track. I was just gonna go into the practice area, and I was like, Jared, how about you go out? I'm gonna go out with you, and then just to get the feel. Oh man, that's why I need to get into another drift cars and get rid of those nerves.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I actually went out. Josh let me borrow his Chaser.
Really?
And drive it.
How was that? Because I have a Chaser, so I want to know.
I sucked. Really? Well, his e-brake was broke too, and that was a huge crush for me, and so I did not do as well as I thought I would. Yeah. Without one, and it's turbo too, and his car's pretty quick. So it was weird for me to try to initiate with clutch kicks because it'd be like going, clutch kick like full throttle just to kind of break the tires loose. And then it was just like me bolting into a corner. And I was like, fuck. So then I would come off the gas right away. Yeah, dude, it definitely showed a weak spot in my driving. So I'm glad I did it, but it was like the worst day of drifting I've ever had.
Okay, so you said it's a weak spot. So you came from driving the Altezza low power, but you felt comfortable since you knew it wasn't going to like...
Dude, I entered fast as shit, but my e-brake worked.
Yeah.
And then like I would initiate once for the tire wall. And then it was all feints for like the rest of the track. I didn't have to use my e-brake much other than to maybe correct.
So how does that compare, like you started talking about, to driving a big, more horsepower, turbocharged, big body? I like to call them big bodies.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels a lot bigger. Like I had more real estate on the track. And so I had to consider that. Yeah. I missed the Altezza, man. Because, well, I think a big thing too is just I wasn't ready to go up in power like that.
Yeah.
And the Altezza... I just had a lot of crutches. Like my e-brake worked really good. I had knuckles on it, so I like never spun out. It was actually like impossible to spin out in that car. Yeah, so that car did a lot of the work for me. Whereas his car didn't have knuckles, it had more horsepower, it didn't have an e-brake, and so it was just.
Yeah, that sounds like you're moving in the wrong direction.
It was totally,
completely.
Dude. It was totally different. It was just like a lot more power without some of the niceties that you should have. Not even should have, but maybe like just stuff that I was used to. So it was different. It was a lot different. If I could choose between the two, I would definitely go back to my Altezza. Yeah. Plus, I wasn't used to, when you have that kind of power, you really needed like throttle control, and with it being a turbo car, keeping it in boost was a big thing. Because I'd enter a corner and clutch kick, but I wouldn't be in boost yet, so I wouldn't do anything. Yeah, so it was just it was a learning experience.
Let me see something real quick. Oh.
Didn't even know it. We just took a break. And we're back. So they're going to hear us talking about that, and then it's just going to be like, and we're back. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. When I started drinking, I get weak.
Shoot, what were you talking about? That was 5 seconds
talking
ago.
about big body drifting, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
My favorite type of drifting.
Yeah.
The only type of drifting that really matters.
You're right.
That's why.
It's more fun.
And actually, you know what? I was thinking about this today. So I've been on the fence about the Chaser. So I have this car. It's automatic NA, and I'm like
2J though.
NA 2J.
It's not a 1G. You know what I mean? Because the Chasers came with 1Gs and 1Js. NA.
Yeah. So, and it's going to take a little bit of work to convert it into a car that's drift ready, but it's a car that I always wanted. So I'm faced with the decision of get rid of it for convenience sake. You know, just let somebody else have it and move on to my next base. Or hang on to it and always have one of my dream cars.
Yeah.
So Right now I'm leaning towards keeping it because nobody really wants it because they don't want to do the work either. Yeah. And I feel like if I put the work into it, I'll be really happy about that. Like, I have this car and it already looks good. I mean, it just needs a little bit of TLC. Sitting out in the sun for like 6 months hasn't done it any favors in the paint. But it's got potential.
I think it definitely does. And for what you paid for it, I mean, Donnie drifted his NA2J Chaser too.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think you could drift it as is if you really wanted to. But I don't know. I don't really think it'd take a whole lot to make it drift ready, aside from the trans swap, and which you wouldn't even really need to do if you didn't want to right away. And that's about it. And then switching, because you have a floor e-brake, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how to convert that to like a regular one.
I don't know, dude. I think it'd be, I don't know. It's easy to say, oh, I think it'd be easy, but I don't think it'd be terribly difficult. You just have to shorten your cables.
We'll see. But, so what is your next... I know you got the SEMA going, which is going to be like VIP, badass, God, that car's gonna be low sick. And slow. So what's your next like drift project, do you think?
It'll be another IS300.
Really? You're committed?
Dude, I love that chassis. I will be the biggest advocate for that chassis. Yeah, I think that'll be my next project. So I'm actually looking at Washington right now for my next living location. So
Washington is where... What's in Washington as far as drifting? I know there's...
Park is the biggest one in Washington, and then they just built Villain Sportsland, which is the Mahon mirror, which that's dope too. That's a really cool track, and they've had a lot of support. So, no, I think I'm looking at their... Actually linking up with a couple dudes that already drive IS300s. So, the only downfall is the price. That's it.
So what's the price like in the States? Because here, we've already discussed that it's super cheap. But what's it like in the States to get one?
To get a manual, it's like $5,000.
That's not that bad.
It's not terrible. It's more than I want to pay for a drift project.
That's the thing. People are probably like, if you don't live in Japan, you're probably like, man, that's a good deal. Let me tell you something. If you come to Japan, they're, especially around a military base, they're literally everywhere. And we're kind of spoiled for choice as far as our Teslas go.
Yeah.
I don't know about manuals so much, but...
Manuals, I mean, you can still find them for like $2,000 with the 3S. So, I don't know. I think that's it. I've actually got a buddy in New Zealand that's trying to hook me up with a bunch of 3S Beams engine swap parts for an S14.
Wait, a 3S into an S14?
Yeah.
Why would you go that route?
Because it's more power than a KA, but it's not turbo.
That's what I'm saying. So you might as well just go like SR or something.
Nah, I shouldn't though.
Why not?
Because beams are indestructible, dude. You know, and like it would be a motor where it's like you get a little bit of a power bump, you could run higher gearing and still be hitting third. And it's just a good motor, dude. It'll never die on you like an SR. Well, SRs can be reliable. I'm not saying they're not. But
I've never dealt with one, but I've heard that they're not that great as far as high power. Like,
no, they're not, unless you go like VVL. But no, I just think the 3S is a better motor, especially being NA. And I just really like NA motors. It's less hassle.
Yeah.
But part of that's because I just don't know shit.
Dealing with turbos, dude, like boost leaks and oil leaks and all that crap, man. Fuck that shit, man. It'll just pop up on you when you least expect. You'll be just driving around down the road like doo 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 doo, like like what the fuck was that? Then you get out and you're like intercooler pipe sucked halfway down the pipe. You're like what the hell happened? Yeah, all right. NA would be nice. That's why I got a V8 swap to GTR. That's really the only option.
Shoot. No, so I think, I don't know. I'll either get an IS300 or I'll beam swap a S chassis. But
even
shipping,
that seems like...
Shipping is fucking expensive. Well, but Beam's engines are cheap. You could find an engine and a trans for like $500-$600. It's awesome. They're great motors. So,
I think I need to go ahead and pick up a JZ while I'm here. Like a 1JZ. They're not expensive here, but I need the ECU as well. And I need one that's not getting ready to blow up. I really wish I would have bought that one that was for sale a little while back. I don't know if we talked about that last time. But.
No, we didn't. I know what you're talking about, though. Locally. We had a guy here selling one for $700, $600-$700. It was cheap.
I should have got it.
It was really cheap. That's the cool thing about being here is that you can find parts cheap, and you have a lot of idiot Americans that don't know how to sell stuff. Or they don't know the value, I guess, and they sell stuff even cheaper. I shouldn't say idiots, but
I was about to say
no, they're not idiots, but like I don't know, like they're just in different predicaments, I guess. Like some people don't know what they have, some people do know what they have, but they just don't need it. Like I mean, shit, I sold a Celsior last week for $500.
You sold? Oh, the one that you had with the wheels on it?
Yeah, I sold it.
Yeah,
what happened? I sold the wheels. I sold the wheels too. I made out good on that car because when I was all in. I paid $100 for the car, $250-ish for the coilovers. They were just some used aim gains.
You paid $100 for the car?
Yeah, and then I paid $560 for the wheels, the Garson 19-inch wheels. So all in all, I was in that car for $900-ish. Sold the wheels for $1,200, and I sold the car for $500. So I made like $800,
bro. That's crazy.
So that wasn't bad. But I still sold that car cheap. You know, like who's gonna buy a Celsior for $500 that runs and drives?
Somebody bought it.
Well, yeah, junkyard.
Oh, they took it for $500.
Yeah, I didn't need it, and it was just sitting there, and I didn't really want to ship it back to the States. So I was like, whatever, $500. And there's a lot of Americans that are just like that. Like they don't care. And so they just sell stuff cheap. And so for us that want it, or, you know, we're on the lookout for that stuff, it works out really well.
Yeah, the only thing that's not going cheap these days are GTRs, which...
Shocker.
Yeah.
You said that as if they should be going cheap. You're like, man.
Well, I mean, like 5 years ago, you can get one for like $10,000. Yeah. I got mine for $15,000.
Shit, 10 is still
Someone
expensive.
was selling one for like almost $30,000. Yeah. And then I think they got talked down to like closer to $20,000 or something. And it was for a car that was like... You buy the car for $20,000, you got to put $10,000 more into it to get it back into a good state. It's ridiculous the prices on those cars. Like, it doesn't even have to be a great car. It could be like an okay car. And I'm like, oh, $25,000, man. This is an RB26. I don't know if you know it's twin turbo. So,
that's the sales pitch.
Have you seen those memes like owner slaps a roof, bloop, and then the door falls off?
And it's all GTRs. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I ran through all my topics. I only had 30. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. I mean, we're actually doing pretty good for time too. A big thing is for the listeners here. I'm trying to keep things kind of short for you guys, tidy. You know, you can manageable. You know, you can listen, go about your day. My topics have nothing to do with drifting this week. I literally was driving down the road and I thought of something and I was like, I'm going to talk about that for no reason at all. So we already covered salting white.
I wouldn't say
colored
we
food.
Covered it.
We touched on it. Yeah, we talked about National Latino AIDS Awareness Day. We talked about what was the other one I had? I had another one. S2000s. That one was drift related.
Yeah, and how you probably aren't gonna see from a technical standpoint. I don't know because I've never done it or heard of anyone known anyone.
I want to drive an S2000 so bad, and I want to drive a clown shoe Z3 BMW.
Yeah.
I want to drive one of those so bad. I remember when I was a kid. I sat in the dealership of a Hatch Z4, and that was like the coolest car. And I was 6'4" as a kid. Like, I say kid, I was like 15, I think.
Hold up, you were 6'4" when you were 15?
Bro, I've been a grown ass man since 8th grade.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, so So I remember I sat in one of those. My parents were in a different dealership, and I like waltzed on over to the Beamer dealership and sat in a Z4 Hatch, and that was the coolest car. Like I fit in it perfect. It was dope. So those are the cars I want to drive and maybe try to drift just for like fun, you know, not even like a serious build. Like Donnie let me drive his MR2 and I didn't fit in it. He had to put the top down and my helmet poked out. And that car was a lot of fun, but immensely hard to drift because it's rear engine.
Whatever happened to that Honda CR? Is it CRV?
Fuck that car.
Did you try to drive it?
Yeah, I think it looks cool. I don't know, man. We built it to try and drift it, but there was something in the computer of the CRVs that won't let you run it rear wheel. Like it won't put all the power to the back. So the power would cut whenever we got the car sideways. And we disconnected like all the traction control stuff. So I don't know. For those listeners that don't know, Donald Jackson built a... he might not want me name drop, but maybe. I don't know.
I mean, free advertising.
That's true. In the videos on YouTube, you can go look it up. His channel's, what, Pinku Style or is it Pink Ranger?
I think it's
one of the two. Anyways, he built this CRV I helped him mainly video it. I was the cameraman for that project, and we made this CRV rear wheel drive, slammed it